so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. For the first time since September 2021, home buying competition is finally down. But you guys, here's what we're really going to look at. Is the competition to purchase homes down enough to where we're successfully transitioning into a buyer's market from a seller's market? Or is it just happening in a few places? And is the market still super toxic? So we're going to do a deep dive into an article from Redfin today titled "Homebuyer Competition Drops for the First Time in 6 Months Amid Surge in Mortgage Rates and Home Prices." Now, you guys, don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a YouTuber, obviously an opinion sharer, but I am a realtor in Houston and a loan officer in Texas, and I've been doing real estate stuff for a couple decades. And if you could like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and as always, comment on this video and also give me some ideas of what you guys want me to report on, and preferably something that impacts the entire nation. Doing specific housing reports on like small cities or specific cities, it's a little bit hard for me because I'm focused on the nation, because right now in my housing market, I can't see any hope in sight because we are in a high migration area being in Houston. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump into the article. 65% of home offers written by Redfin agents face competition on a seasonally adjusted basis in March, down from a revised rate of 66.7% in February. That's the first month-over-month decline since September, a sign that the demand is starting to cool as soaring mortgage rates and housing prices prompt some buyers to back out of the market. Still, bidding wars remained more common than they were a year earlier, when 62.2% of offers encountered competition. On an unadjusted basis, March's bidding war rate was 69.3%, down from 71.9% in February. So here's the thing, month over month, it was only a decline of 1.6%. So it's not a huge decline in the competition, but thank God we are finally going in the right direction. Does it mean it's time to buy right now? Does it mean we can go put an offer on a house and get buying incentives? I'm not so sure about that. Let's continue on with the article right now. Okay, guys, so here's a graph from Redfin. It's homebuyer competition, and basically it's showing the dip in March as mortgage rates and prices rise. As you can see here, it was 66.7% in February, and it dropped to 65%. Now, that's not a huge drop, guys. As I said, it's only a 1.7 drop, but thank God it's headed into the right direction. And I believe as we go on into 2022, this is going to plummet. But what's important to note is look at pre-pandemic. It was down to under 40%, right? So what I'm thinking is we're going to need this down to about 40% before we start really noticing the transition from a seller's to a buyer's market, because even though it's gone down right now, 60% of offers, or over half of offers being competitive, that's still a lot. So as we go into 2022, keep watching that graph, keep watching the data from Redfin, and I'm anticipating Q4, maybe Q3 of this year, that competition percentage is going to be in the 30 to 40%. Let's keep reading the article right now. Most homebuyers are still encountering bidding wars, but competition is beginning to cool because surging mortgage rates and home prices are prompting some Americans to back out or put their buying plans on hold. Smart Americans, I love you Americans that are doing that. We expect bidding wars to ease further in the coming months as rising mortgage rates price more buyers out of the market. That should provide some relief for people who can still afford to buy, as they'll likely face fewer competing offers and may no longer need to offer drastically over the asking price in order to win. Unfortunately, the slowdown in competition won't help those who have already been priced out of home ownership and are now grappling with soaring rental costs. Not to mention the drastic inflation just to be able to live life, the everyday items drastically going up. So not only is rent going up, home prices, mortgage rates, EIDL loans, school loans, property taxes, mortgage insurance, food, gas, and just the ability to live has skyrocketed. So that all that stimulus that we got, all that free money printing, the quantitative easing, it's drastically costing us now. And I don't think really anyone can dispute that. But overall, you guys, what this is saying is, even though the market is cooling down, it's only cooling down a little bit, which is at least a great indication that we are transitioning. But unfortunately, the cool down has not even come close to taking effect into the entire nation. For example, I'm really, like I said, I'm really watching the Texas market. I believe Texas and my Houston market is going to be one of the last states to start feeling and start seeing that transition from a seller's market to a buyer's market, because we have such high demand for our area and such high migration. But nevertheless, at least it's cooling down. But again, you have to still be careful on where you buy, because it is still a toxic seller's market and it has not yet transitioned or cooled down in every area. Let's continue and finish out the article. March was the first month in 2 years that I had a weekend with 0 house tours. People are getting priced out, a Redfin real estate agent in the Bay Area said. Some buyers are in shock and dropping out altogether. Others are looking at more affordable options like smaller homes or neighborhoods that are farther out. The buyers I'm working with who are most sensitive to the rise in mortgage rates are first-time buyers looking for homes between $500,000 and $700,000 range. Homes are still getting multiple offers, especially in desirable areas, but those in other areas are now seeing fewer offers than they were a couple months ago. So you guys, here's the thing. If you're out there, if you have that fear of missing out, please look at the writing on the wall, right? So we're already seeing indications of a cool down and a transition into a buyer's market, despite the fact that we have historic low inventory. But understand this, the reason why all of these countermeasures are here is to combat the historic low inventory. So all of these things are going to start crippling and are already crippling demand, which will in turn lead to higher supplies and higher inventory, as will the lack of double-digit equity growth. But I want to conclude this video with some overall opinions on what we just read. So here's the first thing I want to share. Mortgage interest rates are only going to go up from here. Now, remember, the Federal Reserve already came out and said when they meet next month in May and when they meet next month in June, they are likely going to raise the federal funds rate 50 basis points each meeting, which essentially means the federal funds rate is going to go up 100 basis points or a full percent. So come May, come June, we're going to have another surge of residential mortgage interest rates, and the affordability of homes is going to be further attacked. So this is only just begun. So here's where else I want to end. From here on out, inventory is only going to go up, right? So notice that. Watch the graphs that I'm doing. Continue to watch the data. Inventory from this point forward is only going up, and that should bring you some hope if you're sitting out. Now, also what I want to talk about is what the Fed is doing right now is working, and it is working quickly, and it is working more effectively than most people thought possible. Except for me, I saw this coming, and that's why I really appreciate these types of videos, because we can track our progress and our estimates and predictions in the housing market. The last thing I want to say, you guys, is overall, I still don't think it's time to buy. Overall, the housing market is still super toxic. In my area, there's still people going over asking price. In my area, there's still people waiving the appraisal, waiving inspections, and doing really, really crazy things. So overall, I really don't think it's time to buy, but I do think you should keep watching the market. I do think that you should monitor your local area, work with your realtor, work with your loan officer so that you're up to date every step of the way. Now, that's going to conclude this video today, you guys. I really appreciate you going through this journey with me and watching my videos. And as always, if you're out there looking for real estate, I wish you luck and I hope you win.